Welcome back, everybody. It's another episode. I didn't even count us down. We're jumping
We're
right in
just
because
in. We are jumping in.
we're
We're never this unprepared. No, that's not
Aaron
true.
jumped on the Zoom call and started going. So,
I just had my coffee. I have I am ready to fucking go. Let me shut the door so the dog doesn't come in.
yes, Aaron. For those that are listening, Aaron's got a background on his Zoom virtual background, and it's got a story. And I was like, "Oh my God, you haven't told me this story yet." He's like, "Oh my God, I got to tell you the story."
I do have to tell you the story of this background. Um, and it's directly connected to the work we do here. And it's connected to the work we do here in the ways of that we talk about thinning the veil.
Yeah.
We've talked about thinning the veil on the show before, yes?
Oh, yeah. Oh, all the time.
All the time. We're like the veil thinners. We have the thinnest veil ever.
It's
My veil
it's
is so
one of
much
the things
thin.
on our T-shirt. You guys got to go to our swag store and get our Thin the Veils T-shirt.
Dude, I really should make a swag store. I could do that. I could put that in my Etsy stores. All this stuff that we do. Thin the
Thin the
veil.
veil. Yeah, yeah.
Thin the veil. Free the
Thin the veil.
weed. Um, uh, so yeah, so in terms of thinning the veil, we have a guest coming in February. I forget his name, Kashul something. He reached out to me. He's working with a guru and supporting this some guru whose name I do not know, nor can I repeat it, um, is working with something called absolute intelligence, which is really, from what I could tell in the 20 minutes I interviewed him to see if he was a fit for the show, is a systematic way to connect with absolute intelligence, or
Consciousness.
what we've been calling consciousness, thinning the veil,
Yeah.
so that which is what we
Mm.
know meditation makes available. And his story was somewhat similar to mine anyway. It's a good fit.
Hmm.
Stay tuned in February. But this thing about absolute intelligence I thought was really interesting, and part of the synchronicity of things that happens. There's a
Yeah.
there's a synchronicity that happens that when your veil is thin. Um, and one of those is he said absolute intelligence, and I have my editors getting to the final stages of editing my book, and she has me set up with a um, literary agent.
Yeah.
And she said that one of the things that would be of the value when I talk to him is if I happen to have another book planned.
Mm.
Like if this book works, then I'm already thinking about this book.
Right.
Which, I haven't started at all, and I hadn't really been thinking about it, but I do have this idea kicking around that's been around since Thinning the Veil, since
Mm.
No Self, No Problem, Thinning the Veil, that whole world. And I thought it would be interesting to, how to live a mindful life in the age of AI. And, AI has taken up so much of our mental space as artificial intelligence. And I wrote to her that, it would be I'm interested in authentic intelligence,
Mm-hmm.
which is the intelligence that we get from on the other side of the veil, which this guy has labeled absolute intelligence, which fits exactly the same way, right? It was just like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
and I had just written to her over the weekend about authentic intelligence. And this guy comes to me on Monday with absolute intelligence, which is the same idea. And I thought, well, that is just part of that whole synchronicity.
Yeah, yeah.
And I tell that as a preamble because I like to talk, and um, but also in terms of synchronicity, it explains this image.
Yeah, yeah. You have
So,
to like describe it so people who are
okay, it's a
listening can
circle. It's a circle with radiant line,
like,
like a
yeah, like
sun.
sunbeams. Yeah, like
Yeah,
little.
like radiating out from it,
Mhm.
with a triangle and a little swirly thing in there and a heart. And
Yeah.
here's where it comes from. So, and why it's such a good story. Uh, so Kayla and I went on this tantric retreat, which we've talked about.
Yeah.
And one of the book that the retreat is based on, this training is based on is a book by a woman named Margot Anand, and she has got several books and a bunch of trainings. This particular training came from a book called The Art of Sexual Magic.
Hmm.
And The Art of Sexual Magic it's 300 page, it's a big book.
Wow. Yeah.
And it really delves into, it's a very law of attraction kind of world there where you're harnessing your sexual energy to manifest the life you want.
Mm-hmm.
Tantra is very much about harnessing your sexual energy and is grounded in the principle that, look, you don't have a more potent form of energy
Right.
than sexual energy. Sexual energy literally creates life. It's the most potent
Yep.
form of
Yep.
energy there is that a human being can generate. It creates life. There's nothing else to say about it. It's the source
Yeah.
of life. You and I came from an orgasm,
Right, right, right. Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Right? Did
Yeah.
we talk
For
about
those
that?
listening, go listen to
Yeah,
the Tantric CEO episode that we did a couple weeks ago.
right. But so she's all about, all right, well, how do you harness it and how do you cultivate it
Yeah.
and nurture it? And then there's a particular technique or particular model where um, you take what your vision is, what you're out to manifest, what you want,
Mm. Mm. Wow.
and you have these series of steps where you take what you want and you move it through these phases. So here's what you do. So I'll tell you what I did as I explained to you what the steps are. So I got my voice recorder and I created this vision for what I want, right? Of being a best-selling author and having the meditation book take off and $1 million a year and speaking and TED Talks and being seen as authority in the world of gratitude and mindfulness and having really meditation and mindfulness uh, move to the mainstream.
Yeah.
And that's all like inside this vision for what I want. So I voice record this brain dump. And then I go to ChatGPT and I upload it to the ChatGPT and I say, here's my vision. Use Margot Anand's process from the art of sexual magic
Hmm.
and let's come up with what she wants you to do is take that and keep carving it out, carving it out, carving it out, narrowing it down, sanding it till you get to 2 or 3 words that
Mm.
capture the essence
Mm.
of this vision. And mine it was radiating influence, but I didn't like that so much. So it came down to radiating love.
Mm.
And I thought, all right, that's good, radiating love. Um, Actually, mine was radiating influence when I did this. I've subsequently changed it to radiating love.
Mm.
Um, but then you take those down, and then there's a way of taking the letters of that. You take out the vowels, and then you take the remaining letters and you turn it into a symbol.
Mm.
And then you hold that symbol in your mind when you orgasm to energize it out to the universe.
Oh, wow.
So now you're throwing your sexual energy fully behind this vision.
Fun.
That's the process.
Got
So like, all right, right on, man. I got to think about something when I'm orgasming. Might as well think about
it.
this, right? So, and then so after a couple of iterations in my working with ChatGPT, this is really close to this image is
Yeah.
what it came up with, but without the heart.
Uh-huh. Nice.
Okay. And um I was like, oh wow, this is great. I can it resonated with me. It spoke to me. I was like, I can totally get it. This is fabulous. And I showed it to Kale it was the last day of the retreat of the training. And she says, she looks at it, she goes, no fucking way. I'm like, what do you mean, no fucking way? What are you talking about? And at the first day of the retreat, we were given just a blank piece of paper and said, write down your intentions for the retreat. So we
Yeah.
all wrote down our intentions and folded them up. I didn't see hers, she didn't see mine. We know, you just fold them up, put them on the altar. And at the end, they give them back so that you can reflect on what's happened over the week. And she
Mm.
unfolds her piece of paper, and I swear to God, this image is on her piece of paper
No way.
with the heart.
Oh my God.
It was a
Wow.
circle with the lines and a triangle and a little swirly thing
No way.
inside a heart. And I was
Whoa.
like, that's just not fucking right. That's not how that, you know, and I showed it to the, and, you know, I showed
Uh,
everybody. I was like, you got it. This is not, this is the coolest thing ever. Right.
like, do you believe
And,
now?
and exactly. And then the teacher goes, well, I would be way more surprised. I would be way more surprised at this if I didn't see this every single fucking time we teach it.
Oh, interesting. Wow.
That that partners get connected, and this is the kind of thing that happens all the
Wow.
time. So I see this regularly. So it's very, very
Oh my
cool.
God.
And
Wow.
this is what's possible when we do this work. And I was like, okay, well,
Uh, Wow.
that's thinning the veil. That's, you know, that we talk about it all the time. There's one truth. There's lots of paths and one truth. And you can take that secularly or non-secularly any way you want, right? But many
Yeah.
paths, one truth. We are one. This is all going in the same direction.
I just hear Russell Crowe, like, are you not entertained?
I, I was blown away. I mean, you know, I still am every time I tell the story. It's like, how
Yeah.
is that? How?
I mean, that's like real world magic. You look at like AGT and like the card tricks that people do, and you're like, dude, I don't know how they did that.
Right.
You're
Like Dr.
wowed.
Oz, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's like, what? No way. No way you
No
know,
way. This was like no way.
that's real like we talk about magic oftentimes as like this, you know, energetic, like soft and creative way to describe the energy of something. But like, no, like literally like magic, like same image on a paper magic. like a That's awesome. I love that. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. It was
Wow.
very, very, very cool. It's just, and you know, that's the work that we want to be a part of is as letting people tap in. And we used to talk about tapping in all the time, you know,
Mm,
tapping in, just the one on staff, just tapping in and getting the
mm,
answer
yeah.
and slowing down. And that's, you know, the work that we do regarding um, uh,
Mm,
creating something of value. Um, is, you know, can you slow down? We've been talking about the pillars of being a mindful CEO. And I think that's, you know, the willingness to tap in, the willingness to do the work, to recognize that you
mm,
don't, the answer's there, whatever it is you're dealing with, the answer is there. Can you slow down, quiet down enough to hear the universe responding?
yeah.
Which is why I always, you know, I'm coaching, I'm now mentoring probably half a dozen people. And
Mm,
God, I think I shared this last time, but, you know, one of them was about to go out on her scooter. And she got to the garage and she realized her pants were too thin, but she
for like
went
wind
scooting anyway.
chill.
Yeah,
Uh-huh. Yeah,
but
yeah.
she went scooting anyway. And she was fine. It was just cold. She was just mentioning it. She just mentioned it offhand. Didn't have anything about it. And I said, I just pointed to it at the end, and I said, I have a recommendation that when you think that, things like that, like, oh, my pants are too cold,
Hmm.
that you do something about it. You honor
Mm,
the voice of the universe talking to you. You
mm,
don't ignore it. You don't step over it.
yeah.
You know, you see a piece of paper on the floor and you have a thought, I should pick it up. That's the universe talking to you. That is your intuition.
Mm,
You're being guided. And
yeah.
we are guided like that all the time. And we don't honor it. We
Yeah.
move right past it, like, blah, 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 you know,
Yeah.
um, versus taking the time to go, thank you. You know,
Mm, yep.
I remember reading Castaneda as a kid, and they talk about, you ever read Carlos Castaneda?
No, you brought it up on several, like, 10 episodes ago, but
And you still haven't read it? What the fuck? What am I even doing here?
what?
This is fucking crazy. You know, there's a big piece of that's you know, the Don Juan's connection to the universe is, you
Mm.
say something and then a crow caws and you're like, there's the confirmation.
Uh,
The
uh-huh.
crow is it happened right then. And, you're looking for, it's one thing to look for, you're not so much looking for affirmation, because
Mhm.
you can find it in anything, like you could take a
Sure.
Bible verse to prove anything. Um, it's more like you're open to hearing what's happening around you
Yeah.
and looking to see, does that fit? Does that help? Is that useful? And
Yep. Yeah, yeah.
and I think that's a really valuable place to practice from.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm doing some other work right now, um, teaching companies how to uh, have sort of expansive results
Mm,
through their culture. And one of the things that we've developed in the framework for that is what we call emergent conversations, like your ability to have a conversation as a team and not listen to the words you say, but listen to what's happening in the space between the words that you say. Like, as the conversation is unfolding, what are you all hearing in the field the conversation is happening in, not the conversation itself? What pings, what noticings, what uh, pictures or images like you have behind you, like what things are popping up that we just mostly are not even conscious of. We're most of the
mhm.
time just machinery walking around
Right.
interacting with people's words, but there's a whole nother world, telepathy tapes, that's happening without
Yes.
our words, you know? Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, that is really it's super important to get, and then there's discerning it because I was just thinking about, um, you know, how do you tell that little voice from,
Mm. Hmm.
uh, you know, s- when you're when you got your finger on the scale, when you got your thumb on the scale, right? Like,
Yeah.
uh, who to start at fantasy football is sort of a benign way of that. Like,
Sure, sure.
yeah, like it's a meaningless thing,
Hmm.
um,
Mm.
important,
Interesting.
but meaningless. Um, like, oh, this guy's going to do really well today. Did I get a hit about that, or was that the
Right.
universe?
Is it
Hey,
superstition? Is
yeah,
it,
is that just me wishful thinking,
all right.
right? And I don't have an answer of how you tell the difference between those things.
Yeah.
Maybe, the universe doesn't just give it. I don't think the universe doesn't care
Ah,
about fantasy football. I don't think that's true.
yeah.
And,
Or maybe it does. I mean,
what's that?
or maybe it does.
Yeah,
Not because it matters, but because why not?
because
And
it's
that's fun
important. Yeah,
anyway.
that's right. It doesn't matter any more or less than anything else. I mean, that's what I like about sports in general, is
Yeah.
that it's one place that it's you can't argue that it's not a game,
Right.
right? It's
Yeah.
but people
It's
pretend that other
nice.
shit isn't a game,
Yeah. Yeah.
that shit's real. No, 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 dude.
Yeah.
You made that up just
Uh,
as much as, three strikes and you're out.
yeah.
Literally, it's a
It's all a game.
completely fabricated
Yeah.
structure of you're keeping score with money. Okay, you
Yeah.
good for you. That's fabulous. And, you know,
Right.
it's not any more or less a game than anything else.
Mm.
Um,
Mm.
but yeah, and yeah, anyway, it's one of my favorite things about sport.
Yeah. Yeah. It's,
Um,
yeah, go ahead.
no, no, go. You go. I was
Well, it's
trying.
funny. I mean, we're at the time of the recording, we're coming up on New Year's, big season for goal setting, you
Oh,
know.
that's what I wanted to share with you. I
Oh,
don't
okay.
even
Oh
know.
my God, dude, the
I
mind
know,
meld.
fucking right there. I was like, what was this thing I was going to share? I should let Chris talk because he'll come up with it. Um, I made a year-end review.
Yeah. Oh, right, right, right. Yeah.
Oh, I tagged you in that.
Yeah, yeah. You tagged me in that post. Yeah.
Did you go through it? Did you look at it at all?
I haven't filled it out yet. I looked at the overview and I
Right. The
started
samples.
the first page of questions and
Right.
yeah.
So we'll put the link in the show notes, I guess.
Yeah.
It'll be after New Year, but it'd be worthwhile doing. I made it for real estate agents, but it's very, very, it's easy to think about in any terms.
Yeah.
Um, but I made it because, at the end of the year, Chris, this really goes back to our initial seed of a thought of the podcast way back
Yeah.
when, which was you cannot find two people that are talking about anything other than GCI.
Right.
I mean, that's the only thing that people are going to fucking complete this year is how many deals did they do?
Yeah.
What was their volume? What was their GCI?
hmm Yep.
And those are outcomes. Those aren't process.
Right.
Those don't tell anything. And even if you measured how many calls you made and the sources and did things that you think are process,
Yeah.
they, and I don't, that's a little bit denigrating, that are the mechanical side of the process.
Yeah.
You're not taking the time to debrief and assess and look for what's the meaningful side of the process. Like,
Mm,
which clients did you have the most energy with? Which ones gave you the most life? What deals gave you the least amount of life? What did you spend your time on that drained your energy? What did you spend your time on that filled your cup? Who were the people in your sangha, in your community that most impacted you? Who are the people that sucked energy from you? Like the things that actually matter in
yeah.
your experience of being alive day
Mm.
to day. That's process, but we don't think about that like process. We're like, fuck you, get on the phone, right?
Uh-huh.
The process is 100 dials. No, I mean, yes, but no.
hmm
The process is, am I working for people that light me up?
Mm. Mm.
Am I inspired by the clients that I have? And
That's
what
good.
parts of the deals are the most inspired? Like, give me some direction,
Mm.
some way of completing 2025 that'll leave me with where do I want to point myself in 2026? And you
Yeah.
can't find two people talking about it.
Yeah. Right. Yep. Yeah.
And
Right.
and that's, a very simple
Well,
uh,
I love
debrief.
that if you overlap that with the image that you drew at your tantra retreat and I think it's that Rumi quote that says that which you are seeking is seeking you. This
Mm-hmm.
idea that
Yes,
like Kale drew it before you ever drew it. Like the thing that you
totally.
drew happened way before you drew it. Like that there is the goal that you set for next year. If you did it from a place of meaning and not a place of GCI and volume and not the mechanical side, but if you set an intention and a goal in 2026, pointing your life in a direction that matters to you, the thing that matters to you is seeking you. Like that there is it takes a little bit of, you know, let go of the left brain, make sense of it thing and get to the magic of it. And you go, oh, it's possible that at the end of 2026, what I end up getting is the very thing I wrote down at the beginning of 2026, just like it happened in your retreat.
Yeah, I think that's great. And it's so and what we write down is I'm going to do 100 deals or I'm going to net 350 or
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And 100 deals is not seeking you.
Oh, come on.
I know, but it's not seeking you that way. I mean, that's like,
Mm.
look, I wanted 150K. I said if my business generates, I said if I can get a publisher to front me 150K. I told you about this, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right, 150K, then I could go to work on the book full time.
Yeah.
And the universe was like, okay, well, you want to go to work on the book full time? We'll do that. And
That's
my
what you
business
want.
generated the
Yeah.
150K.
Right.
Like
Right.
that found the thing that matters found me,
Right.
not the
Yes.
so don't get.
Yeah.
I got no
Yeah.
problem with you selling 100 units or whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
The material, it's not even material. It's the mechanical. I like mechanical aspect of it. Have it as a goal and break it down into steps. And that means 10 contacts a day, whatever. The universe definitely responds to action. You know, intentional action towards a goal is critical. So this is not, I'm just going to attract,
Right.
whatever, and then not act. It's going to come to me on the cushion. It's not. You need to move in that direction.
Yeah. Right. Right.
But in that mix should be what are those 100 deals going to buy you?
Mm-hmm.
For what?
Yeah.
What's the future that you really are emotionally connected to
Mm.
that is, in fact, looking to find you anyway?
Yeah.
As Esther would say, ask
Yeah.
and it is given.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Well, not even Esther. That's the Bible too. Seek and ye shall find.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah.
was remember that from Bold? Just to quote that in Bold.
Oh, is that right? Seeking you shall
Yeah,
find.
seek and you shall find,
Oh,
knock and it will be open. Um, I
I
used to
was
have it in my
probably
wallet.
deaf to it from my recoil from my
Yeah, I used
spiritual
to have it in
days.
my wallet. Right, I'm Jewish, so it never meant anything to me. Um, but other than I like the way, seek and you shall find, ask and it shall be given, knock and it will be open to you, and the
Yeah.
door shall be open.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, that's contextually talking about Jesus, but in a broader sense, in the sense of there's one truth and many paths,
Yeah. Yeah.
that
Right.
sort of result, you want to call it Jesus, fine, but you want to just call it fulfillment, you could do that too. The important part of Jesus isn't,
Well, and to bring it full circle, I think you could call that absolute intelligence, like that there
yes,
is some universal law attached to that that doesn't have to do with one man in history. It has to do with something that was trying to be communicated about how it works, how it all works. Yeah.
right. I'm with you on that. Although I suppose I doubt there's people listening that are like, oh, well, that's it. These guys are,
Right, right. I'm done. I'm unsubscribing from
I'm
this podcast.
unsubscribing because I was really here for the Jesus talk.
That's right. You offended my spiritual beliefs.
Uh, yes, well, Jesus was a Jew, so me and him are tight. We're good.
There you go. I love it. That's
Me
good.
and him are good. Um,
Yes.
yeah, I don't know. That was the other piece that came to me this morning, and I don't know how it necessarily fits, but came to me this morning, so let's not hold it back.
Yeah.
Um, was this thought that that this is the path the thought came to me at. I don't know. I think this is I don't know what neurological condition you have to have when you need to explain the entire backstory for every single thing, but I have that. Um, I was reflecting over the year. I was asked to share some accomplishments of the year, and one of the accomplishments was the Vipassana retreat, where
Mm,
the thought came to me about Landmark doesn't get enough credit in the Vipassana community for the work that it does in bringing people to the
mm,
state of oneness in a weekend.
mm,
And Landmark doesn't get the necessity for the practices required to keep that alive. Like I think in a lot of ways, we've failed at communicating the degree to which practices are required to keep that which is opened out of the forum alive, to keep it from being a peak weekend, which is why people who've done the leaders training program and any versions of that have it much more accessible to them because they spent 7 months in an intensive developing practices to keep that alive. So it's much more likely to stick.
yeah.
And the way we talk about it in the forum, or the way we talk about it in the leader training program actually, is that, you know, you 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 disappear for a moment and you're left with the self of self. Your ego disappears and you're just left connected to the universal consciousness of
Yeah.
self, the one consciousness, which
Mm,
is reliably what happens for people in the forum, but it happens like that. And then it goes away because your brain's not wired for it to keep it alive. And if you
yeah.
get there through meditation, you've been remodeling the house the whole way.
Mm,
So when you get there through meditation, although it could take you 3 lifetimes, when you do get there through meditation, your brain is set up, has the neurological pathways, the neuronal pathways to keep that experience of self alive, to at least have it accessible to you.
yeah.
Whereas if you do the form and you don't do anything else, in a very
Mm,
short period of time, that becomes a peak weekend that you remember,
Yeah.
versus something that you embody and experience.
Entropy. Yeah.
And
Mm, mm,
I was thinking about, people don't, they may understand neuroplasticity. They may have heard of neuroplasticity and that the brain can grow new neuronal patterns and that the brain has has the ability to be molded over time, over your course of your whole life. You don't lose neuroplasticity. I mean, it gets a little crusty. You need to soften up that sponge a little bit, but that's what meditation does,
mm,
is it softens that crust so that you can create new pathways. And every time you meditate, you're creating those new neuronal pathways that keep you, that will keep that transformation, that sense of self alive. That if you did the form and you go back and you start meditating now, you'll start building the pathways to keep that alive. Anyway, the thought was that remodeling your brain is as real of a thing as remodeling a house. Like if you remodel, no one
mm.
questions that I could add a bedroom onto my house,
Right.
or I could put on a second story, or I could, build an ADU on my land. Like remodeling a house is not a question for anyone.
Yeah.
But remodeling your brain, putting a new place to live inside your head is a mystery to people when in fact
Mm,
it's
mm,
as accessible as remodeling a house. That's what we're doing when we meditate, is that we're
mm,
remodeling the home you live in, your head. You're remodeling that. You're putting, uh, and this is good. If I just keep going with that metaphor, if I'm writing that for a little bit, reading the books on something at best is redecorating.
mm.
Oh,
Ooh. Yeah.
right? You're hanging new
Right.
pictures, you got, a new
Yeah.
lamp, you know,
Uh-huh.
you got a
Yeah.
carpet, whatever, but it's the same house. It's just got new stuff in it or less stuff in it. Maybe you've cleaned out the house. And so
Yeah.
it's got less stuff in it, but it's still fundamentally the same house, same rooms, same everything. And
Mm,
for sure, there's value in decluttering,
yeah.
and redecorating is lovely. And, you know, uh,
Yeah.
it's all useful. And it is possible to completely remodel, take down walls,
Yeah.
expand the kitchen. You know, you can do
Most
all
people like
sorts of,
us are not, well,
what's
yeah,
that?
most people like us are not reading for redecorating. We're reading for expansion. We're reading to grow. We're reading because we want to expand. And to your metaphor, expand. If we had it our way, if we could have what we want, we'd say, I want another story. I want an extra garage.
Right.
I want, we would say we want more than what we have now in an expansive way.
Yes.
And we're reading books to try to, we're reading other people's insights to try to do that. But if you don't have your point is, if you don't have a practice attached to that, like meditation, all you're doing is
Yeah. I mean, maybe a
hanging
book.
pictures.
Yeah. So, I mean, you could be hanging pictures. The other thing that it may be doing is, it's laying out a blueprint. I've
Sure.
read books that lay out blueprints that are like, oh, this is possible.
Yeah.
This is what a
Yeah.
new room would look like. This is why
Yeah.
a new room like that would be useful. It opens up the possibility of it. It shows you what would be possible if you had that room.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
had that expansion, this is what it would be like. Very, very few books actually,
Well, because books aren't a process, books are a moment. You
right.
read it and then you're done. But I think one of the interesting things underneath that is the same, this is I'm going to do a broad stroke here, but the same limiting belief that keeps me from remodeling my house. I can't afford it. It take too much
Mhm.
time. Like we have a limiting belief for as much as we want it, we'll have a limiting belief for why we can't do it. The same
Mhm.
is true in the meditation piece. We say, this is what I want spiritually, energetically. This is what I want for my life in 2026. What that has meaning. And then there's a limiting belief about, but I'm not good at meditation. Meditation doesn't work for me. We have limiting beliefs about our ability to pull it off.
Yeah.
I think it's the same thing happening just in
Yeah.
different contexts. But
Yeah. And I think that's a great thing about, we are what we practice. We are the summation of our practices, of our habits, as
mm,
James Clear would say.
yeah,
That's our life is made up of the things we do over and over and over and over.
mm,
And if you have habits or practices that continually clean the house,
Yeah.
right? Start
Yeah.
to, and part of creating an intention for 2026 would be this is the room that
Yeah. Right.
even I read
Right.
about it in this book and I want to build this room. I want it to be, here. I want to use it for this.
And you could use meditation that way, right, Aaron? Like sometimes meditation is watching your thoughts, but can you use meditation sometimes to like create those rooms?
Yeah. Well, I mean, first of all, I think part of it, so yes, and part of it is, I think the majority of it, Chris, lives over in the domain. The future that wants you is looking for you,
Yeah.
right? You set it as an intention and it's out there, it's given, and you're just now getting out
Mm,
of the way,
mm.
everything that's in the way of
Got
it
it. Yeah.
being fulfilled. So it's not like you building is way less, is may look more passive
Uh-huh.
than doing something. So just
Yeah.
observing your breath just doesn't need to be in there. Observing your breath is in fact building that room, because as you observe your breath, you're observing your thoughts. And then you come back to the breath and you observe your thoughts. You come back to the breath. Just that practice, strengthening that muscle, builds the neuronal pathways to allow the future that's looking for you to leak through. I think you're
Yeah.
thinning the veil in that way. So I think that's the majority of it. But then there's also, practices like metta or practices like rain
Mm-hmm.
that are very directional in terms of their meditations. And then there's all sorts of visualization practices and things
Yeah.
that go beyond Vipassana practice, which is really all I do. But metta is a Vipassana practice, but it's rather than being observational,
Yeah.
it's the way the Buddhists talk about it is you incline the mind in a
Incline the
direction,
mind. Yeah.
which I love because it's
Yeah.
very gentle.
Mm-hmm.
You're not,
Uh-huh.
I'm causing love to be present. I'm inclining my mind toward loving kindness.
Yeah.
And then that's what arises.
Wow.
And so I do think there's ways of being intentional about that. It's just not intentional from a Western, I'm going to do this now. It's more intentional than setting.
Yeah.
Oh, we did this whole thing about goals last time, yes? Or was that just in the
Mm.
mastermind?
I think in the mastermind.
Because I know
What do
that
you
we had said excuse, because I got to use the word excuse.
that was in the mastermind because I had to look
Okay.
it up.
Okay. I remember things by the $64,000 words I get to use.
That's right. That's right. There was that time I used that word askew.
I used the word excuse correctly in context. I was very smart. I seemed very intelligent.
You were very smart. Good job. You were
Thank you.
very smart.
That's what I was looking for, the good job there.
Hmm.
Didn't want to have to keep talking.
Yeah, yeah. I got it. I got
Well,
what you were fishing for.
right, but we eschew goals like, from if you get too over in the world of mindful CEO, then you're eschewing goals, right?
Yeah.
100 deals is a goal,
Yeah.
right?
Right, right, right.
Right. The universe is not out to hand you your goals. The universe is fulfilling your intentions.
Mm.
How's that,
Yeah.
motherfucker? Fucking slam the mic down with
Whew.
that. That's that's what Rumi's pointing to, is that your intentions are in fact
Mm,
waiting for, heading your way.
mm, mm.
And keep moving towards the goal by all means.
Yeah.
That's
Right. Wow. Yeah.
and
That's
that
like
year-end
the,
review
yeah.
that we're posting is really about the intentions and rather than the goals. It takes very
Yeah.
simple to complete on your goals.
Yeah. Right, right, right. Hey, question logistical question on the year-end review that you created. Is that it's not a job form? Is it a GPT? It's not like a form that you then get my answers and Aaron reviews your answers, right? It's not like you're seeing my answers.
It's your answers and you can download them or get them
Yeah.
emailed to you.
But it's not a GPT. It's not
It's
like
not a
some AI
GPT.
thing you set up. Okay, got it.
It's not. I mean, AI helped me build the website,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but it's not, yeah, it's not iterating off those answers in any way.
Ah, got it. Right. Yeah, I wasn't sure when I went there, I wasn't sure what I was filling out. I was like, oh, I should ask you that. So those of you listening, like, yeah,
No, you
it's
just fill it out, and then at the end, you get a chance to get it emailed or downloaded to you. You just,
nice.
yeah.
Nice. Cool.
Um, yeah, and then you
All
get
right.
to
Well,
keep it.
I'll link that up in the show notes for everybody.
Yeah, there's 4 pages of prompts, and it's probably 20 prompts, something like that. 20
Yeah.
questions,
Yeah,
16
yeah.
questions. Take
Nice.
you, I think it takes 30 minutes of thoughtful response,
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah. Good.
I like that it's different than a normal was this in the mastermind? Somebody recently in the last week or so, people talking about typically we'll do a year end. It wasn't in the master. We'll do a year end review and it takes like a day versus like really sitting with taking time to sit with um, the experiences and
Yeah.
what have you stored in your body? What are you releasing? Like like
Yeah.
there's a cultivating, a tilling, a prepping of yourself from this year into next year, and processes like what you put together help that. I think help that process.
Yeah. And you can save your place in this as you fill it out. So if it takes, because 30
Yeah,
minutes, I think would be the least amount of time, but I think you could take a few days
yeah.
and have it be valuable.
And that one thing may not even be the end all. Like that is a piece of a
Yes.
process, a practice that it was just so microwave oriented. Like, okay, let's do
Yes.
the thing where I count my GCI, my transactions, my units. Let's set the goals for next year. And oh, done, did it. I did the worksheet, man. I'm ready.
Yep.
And I think mindfulness in this context, like especially stepping into a new year, a new opportunity, is there's a chance to sort of. I'm doing it more carefully and slowly this year. I'm starting now. I usually would wait till like New Year's Eve, and I'd be like, oh shit, I got to do my goals. Like let's review the year. But this is like it's been very helpful, slowly, mindfully moving into like what was here this year and what
Yeah.
does that where do I want to point myself next year, like you said.
Yeah. Good.
Awesome. All right,
Cool.
friends,
All
thanks
right.
for
Well,
hanging
I
out with
think
us.
this is our last one for the year. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean, peace out, everybody. Have a
Have
great
a
life.
great
Have
life.
a
Have
great
a great
less.
year.
Have a great
See you
year.
next year.
We'll see you next year. Yep, yep. Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Aaron. Peace out, everybody.